All right, hello and welcome back to the most must-see professional football podcast on the internet. Welcome back to Third and Long. I'm your host Mason Rooney, and as per usual, I'm joined by my co-host Cody Starren. Say hello, Cody.
Hello, everybody.
All right. Before we get started, be sure to follow us on all our socials for the podcast down here, personal socials up there. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow us and be sure to subscribe to us wherever you can find your podcasts available. All right. So this episode, continuation of our NFC draft recaps. So far, we've done NFC West and NFC North. Uh, Today, we're going to be doing the NFC South, who all had first round picks, and two of them were in the top 10. We'll start with the team that had the first overall pick. After trading a lot to get this pick, they traded up from 9. They give up. Did they give up their second too this year?
Um, Not sure. I have to read details. I can look it up.
Yeah, so they end up. I know they gave up a first next year. They may have given up a second next year and a third this year. I'm not exactly. I don't exactly remember how much they had to give up, but they also had to throw in DJ Moore into this trade with Chicago, and with the first overall pick of the draft, it was not a surprise at all. But they took Bryce Young from Alabama, former Heisman winning QB. It made sense, all the sense in the world for them to draft Young. I know when they first made the initial trade, reports were that they were going to be taking Stroud, but as it got closer to the draft, they ended up changing their, imagine changing their minds, or just it was a smoke screen from the
I don't.
beginning. But they ended up picking Bryce Young.
Yeah, I don't think there was ever a thought for Carolina to pick Stroud.
I mean, imagine if they were staying at 9, there was like a hope that they would be able to get Stroud, but there was like, screw it. Let's just get up to number 1 and take our guy. And I imagine it's kind of like the whole. You remember the San Fran trading him to 3, and there like talks about Mac Jones there.
Yeah,
I imagine it's like, well, now we don't have to settle with what's left. We could take who we think could be the next great QB and Trey
that's true.
Lance. So maybe trading up to 1 kind of changed their game plan, but regardless, they ended up getting the best, what most people would consider the best QB prospect in this draft.
Yeah, I personally don't think Stroud was ever on the radar. I think when they traded up to one, I think they knew that they were going to have to get to one to get Bryce Young.
Yeah, I mean, we before this trade, I imagine everyone was thinking that Chicago was not staying put at 1. There was so many
No.
QB needy teams behind them that they would be dumb not to trade out. And for the package they got for this first overall pick, including 2 firsts and DJ Moore plus other good picks, this was a W trade for Chicago. And I mean, Bryce Young isn't going into a bad situation. Carolina this offseason spent a lot of money to get a ton of weapons. They got Thielen. They got Miles Sanders. I think they signed another running back too. I think they also got another
I still
receiver.
think his.
I think they signed Shark.
I still. Yeah, but I still think his weapons out there are still about as mid as you can get.
I'm not saying they're good. I'm not saying they're great. I'm just saying he could be in a worse situation. He could be CJ Stroud going to the Texans right now.
I mean, I guess, but when your number one receiver is Thielen,
I mean, speaking of number 1 receiver, they drafted Jonathan Mingo in the second, who has the potential to be the number 1 guy. Because
I'll believe
you
it
know
when I
where
see
you're,
it, though.
you know what you're getting with Thielen, kind of old, slow white guy playing mainly from the slot, probably.
Who can run a crisp route?
Yeah, like I said, old, slow white guy that will cook you, but not burn you.
He's got great hands too.
Yeah. Uh, they got DJ Shark, who uh, uh, trying to think of the word to use for him, but he could be a good number 2 receiver. He has the speed to take the top off defenses. I mean,
No,
he's not a bad receiver.
he just got speed. Outside of trying to just burn at somebody, he's got nothing.
No, I mean that's why they went and drafted Jonathan Mingo. Ole Miss has a thing about second round receivers,
Yeah, their first round receiver suck.
but their second round receivers are goated.
Yeah, that's true.
Got repping the Ole Miss receiver, best Ole Miss receiver in the NFL right now.
Now it's Laquan Treadwell.
Like I said, best Ole Miss receiver in the NFL right now.
I agree.
I mean, the rest of the draft for Carolina drafted outside linebacker J.J. Johnson. I mean, he's a bit on the older side, but imagine you'll find some rotational play, just like on pass rush situations. Chandler Zavala. I mean, guard, but I mean Carolina kind of needed guard help anyway, so he's probably gonna be playing for potential day 1 starting. And Jamie Robinson, just probably another like depth special teams potential player right there. So I think Carolina trading up, getting their guy, good pick, good draft for them. Who's that?
Best number 1 Ole Miss receiver in the NFL.
That's not
second
DK.
round.
That's not DK Metcalf. Anyway, yeah. So overall, solid draft from Carolina. Being gonna need to see how Bryce Young plays in the. Who's the coach? Is it Who's the
Frank
coach?
Wright.
Wasn't it Oh yeah, Frank Wright. I think he said Mike Wright for some reason. I'm like, what?
Mm. No.
Yeah, Frank Wright. Let's see how he does in the Frank Wright system. We saw. Was Andrew Luck QB when Frank Wright was there?
I don't think so. I think that was Pagano.
Was it? Well,
I think. I could be.
yeah, I'm
Could
not
be
sure.
I could be wildly wrong there.
I don't remember either. It's been a while since Andrew Luck has played. But Frank Reich was pretty good besides last year. But we will see how he does in Carolina. Moving
I
on.
think he's going to be really good
I mean, he should be.
in the next 2 years.
Moving on to the next NFC South team to pick, the Atlanta Falcons at 8, taking star running back. You called it. I don't know if we recorded it, but you called it. Bijan Robinson. Now, I get it. Best player available. But when you have so many other needs, do you really need a running back when you already got a good running back?
It's not necessarily a need of a running back. It's the fact that they are a run-heavy team, power running back, and you have a generational talent. Technically, I mean, there's not many good running back talents like Bijan Robinson that come out of college every year.
No, I get that, but you pass up on Jalen Carter, a cornerback to pair with AJ Terrell. Just any defensive lineman. Like, there's so many holes on this Atlanta team that a running back taking Bijan Robinson at 8 seems more of like a luxury pick than a necessity pick. Which I get it.
Oh.
You don't always need a draft for necessity, but their defense was atrocious.
Yeah, but I mean, wasn't their defense at least respectable last year?
Not really. They ended with the 8th overall pick in this draft, so it can't have been that good.
I know, but their quarterback was also Marcus Mariota and Desmond Ridder.
I mean, like, that's another thing. I guess they want to ensure Desmond Ridder isn't like uncomfortable back there, so just give him all the weapons.
you got to surround him with every weapon possible. And Bijan Robinson's more than just a running back too. I mean, in college he lined up as a slot receiver, so he can play that slot position. Day one, he can also come in all the motions you create from him starting in the backfield and trying to create a mismatch in the slot. I mean, he's a tool that any offense would love to have.
No, I get that, but like I said, I don't understand the vision of them taking Bijan Robinson when they had clearly other needs and there's other players available. But best player available, they did it the year with Kyle Pitts, but
And then also, just another side note, they did take Clark Phillips out of Utah in the fourth round, and I personally believe that he's going to be. I'm not going to say he's going to be a stud cornerback, but I think he's going to be a respectable cornerback.
I mean at 5'9", he needs to be aggressive as hell.
He's a little guy, but
He's a tiny man, but can't really talk. I'm not that short king. Short king stands up, or short kings stand up. Anyway, in the second they ended up taking Matthew Bergerson, guard from Syracuse. This is another pick I don't understand. They're set on the offensive line for like on the guards and tackle spot, but
yeah, this one was weird.
I don't know if he could play center, but like that's the weakest spot they have on their team. Or maybe they could move him outside to tackle and just have him there. But
Yeah, it's weird drafting a tackle to play center though.
I mean, he's listed as a guard, so I imagine he has versatility. But like, he plays the run pretty well, or he does run blocking pretty well. So I imagine it's going to be a run heavy offense. Want to get some more big men up there. But like I said, they're set at the guard positions. Imagine they're probably going to move him out to tackle. I'm not sure which one though. So, but we'll see come training camp.
I suppose if they really needed, they wanted to draft a center, they could have just traded back and picked up John Michael Schmitz.
Yeah. So,
He didn't go till 57. So I mean, I don't know what their thought process with this one is.
like I said, they're probably going to move him from guard to tackle, but who knows? Uh, Zach Harrison, defensive edge or defensive end from the Ohio State. They need a pass rush. I bet he's probably going to be contributing day one. Maybe not as a starter, but definitely a rotational piece. Uh, you mentioned Clark Phillips, who could be a stud. Standing at 5'9", he has a very hard uphill battle to climb.
Literally.
Literally. And then in the seventh round, they ended up taking DeMarco Helms, probably special team, like run stopping safety type of player, and another guard who was probably just depth, if anything.
Oh, you also have to remember they did also trade for Jeffrey Okuda.
Yeah, no, I forgot about that Kuda trade.
Yeah, they traded for Okuda. They drafted Clark Phillips, and I mean, they don't really have a solid number two receiver.
Yeah,
I think Matt Collins is their number two receiver right now.
Matt Collins was kind of nice last year, but
Yeah, but Bijan's about to be nicer.
yeah, you're right. Let's
I
go
don't know.
to the next NFC South team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I know going into the draft there was speculation maybe they would be the team to take Levis, or like as the draft progressed in the first round, they might have taken Levis, but it seems like they're going into training camp with a Baker versus Trask QB battle. Uh, you know, Baker should win that. At least, he'll probably start
Yeah.
week one. I'd be very surprised if Trask ended up starting week one.
I mean, to be fair, Trask was a dog out in college.
Yeah, but I imagine they would want the experience more so
I
from
wouldn't.
Baker rather than the.
I wouldn't be shocked if Baker gets beat by him. I'll put it that way.
Hmm, Yeah, but this is more. This feels like it's Baker's job to lose.
I suppose.
Yeah. All right. So in the
People also you also got to remember Trask sat behind
Brady,
Tom Brady for a couple of years.
that's true. We will see though.
Yep.
Uh, in the first round, Tampa Bay sure loves drafting big beefy men because they took Kalani Kancey from Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, yeah, defensive tackle, and I, they needed more defensive line help. Vita Vea can't do it all.
They're getting older, old as hell too.
Yeah, like they got a bunch of old pieces up on that defensive line, so get younger, get beefier, and take some pressure off Vita Vea. Good pick.
The beefier, the better.
Yeah, the more you can never have too much beef. Uh, good pick. Trying to remember who went like after any notable names after Cansey.
That Cody Mouse guy, Mosh.
Yeah, dude,
That kid's a
what a man!
stud.
What a man
That
that
kid's
guy is.
he might have to fix his teeth now when he gets all that money though.
No, he ain't fixing his teeth.
I
That
hope not.
that I hope not either. That man is a absolute unit. He got he is what you would imagine a offensive guard looks like.
Prototypical offensive lineman.
Yeah. So they have two beefy long-haired redheads on that offensive line now. Only with a combined of total of two front teeth.
That with that addition, with that Cody Mosh addition, or however you say his name, that offensive line could be top 3 in the league next year.
I mean, it's looking good because they got Ryan Jensen. They just lost Shaq Mason, so he's probably going to
Who
be.
cares? They got Tristan Wirfs, they got
Tristan, yeah.
Cody, they got who's the other guy? Robert Hainsey.
Do they have Donovan Smith still? Is that the other tackle?
I think he might be on.
But yeah, I have no idea where they plan on putting Mock, but he's
They have
probably
him listed as right guard right now.
who? Mock.
Yeah, right guard.
Yeah, that right side of the line's gonna be nasty. The left side, uh, might be a little bit suspect if they don't have Donovan Smith
Well,
still.
actually, I'm looking at the depth chart right now. They're gonna need some help.
I can't think of
have
anyone on that left side.
Well, they have Wirfs listed as left tackle,
They have Wirfs as left.
and the left guard is Nick Leverett.
Yeah, I mean outside of Jensen, Ryan Jensen's still there, right?
Yeah, and I said Robert Hainsey, but he's also a center, and he's a backup center now.
I imagine they might have to move him to guard,
Yeah, I would, or something.
but
I don't know what you do there.
I think the first two picks the Bucks made were pretty good. Third round they took Yaya Diaby out of.
That's a W pick just because of the name.
I know. In terms of names draft, this man's number one overall.
I mean, number 2 all time though.
Who's number one?
Haha, Clinton Dix.
No, you're right. You're right. Yaya Diaby, number 2 overall all time, but number 1 in this draft.
Hell yeah, he'll be number 3 all time next year when Kool-Aid gets drafted.
I still can't believe that's a real person. Is that a nickname or is that his like birth name?
I'm pretty sure that's his real name.
Oh my lord! All right. And speaking of names, the 5th round pick for Tampa, Servosia Dennis. Great first name.
Yeah.
Interior linebacker from Pittsburgh. I mean, they got Levante David and Devin White, so he's probably going to see this field on mainly special teams. You can never have too many.
If Devin White's still around.
Yeah, I imagine he's at least going to be there this season. Next year, maybe not. he might get traded at the deadline, and so Dennis might get some more play time, but we will see. They took tight end Payne Durham. More these later picks are just all a lot of depth because tight end, corner, receiver, outside linebacker. Those are all spots that like they have good players that they're just uh, getting more depth at those positions, which is what mainly the late round picks are for. If we're being honest, is getting young
Yeah.
depth.
No one's heard of Jose Ramirez outside of baseball.
I was gonna say I'm pretty sure there's a baseball player named Jose Ramirez. Let's go to the final team in the NFC South, the Nolans Saints. After trading away the rights to Sean Payton to Denver, they had the 30th overall pick, who was originally San Francisco's, who traded it to Miami, and Miami traded it to Denver for Bradley Chubb, and Denver traded that pick to New Orleans for Sean Payton. So, this pick got moved a lot.
Got passed around more than we all know.
High school cheerleaders on prom night.
You said it, not me.
Yeah. Uh, with the 30th overall pick in the draft, they ended up taking Clemson defensive tackle Brian Brise, who I'm surprised fell this far. If I'm being honest, I thought he was better than Mozzie Smith, who Dallas ended up taking before him.
Yeah, that's fair. I thought he was definitely better than him, but
I mean, he was like
I
had him like a mid to late round first, but like considering.
I mean, let's be honest. Let me click on this guy. Yeah, he's a white guy with a clean history. He's not really the Cowboys type.
You know that's valid. So yeah, I mean Brian Brise a heck of a pick. They needed more, similar with the Bucks. They needed more beef up front. Get best defensive tackle there was who could not only pass rush, but he's also pretty good against the run. It's a pretty good defensive tackle right there. That's all you really want from your big boys up front, right?
Yeah, but I think their second pick's better than their first pick, if I'm being completely honest with you.
Isaiah Foskey, defensive edge from Notre Dame. Yeah, I mean,
dude's a stud.
I mean, yeah, you imagine a lot of players or a lot of teams had to like late first, early second type of grade on him. There's a lot of good edge rushers in this draft, so there's players bound to fall.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe his hand size was too small or something, so he fell into the second round.
I mean,
because that's what we do these days.
I mean, Joe Burrow's hands that were small, or Kenny Pickett?
Yeah,
and Kenny
Pickett, Joe Burrow, both of them.
Yeah, tiny hands, not good in the NFL.
But I mean, they're good for other things. I mean, they make it look bigger.
Facts.
I'm glad I have baby hands.
Same. Well, actually, I don't know if I have baby hands or it's just that small. Anyway,
combination of both.
Probably. But yeah, Foskey's probably gonna get a lot of play as a rookie, rotational pass rush piece, or pass rush player. I'm not sure how he is against the run. You'd more so know that more than me.
Got the stud everywhere.
All right, so you heard it here first. If Isaiah Foskey isn't the greatest player of all time, it's all because of Cody.
I just watching every snap of Notre Dame football this year, there was not a play where I thought, man, that guy got dominated. I mean, he was always around top of the quarterback. He's a stud. He's going to be good. May not be superstar good, but I mean, he's going to be a solid player in the league for probably 7, 8, 9 years.
Yeah. As long as he averages like 5 to 6 sacks a season for his career, that's a pretty solid career.
And let's be honest, Notre Dame is one of the best schools in the country when it comes to trench players.
That is true, but more specifically, offensive line, the defensive line. I think, right?
You'd be surprised how many defensive line they have. I don't know off the top of my head. I think the best one off the top of my head would be Stephon Tuitt.
All right, that's valid.
But you'd be surprised how many people actually are from Notre Dame on defensive and or defensive line too.
Yeah, I don't watch much college football, so you're the college football guy here. Uh, third round pick for the Saints, Kendre Miller. Saints signed Jamal Williams this offseason, so and I imagine if Alvin Kamara has another awful year, he's gone. On top of like the off the field stuff that he's had going on. Uh,
Yeah,
Kendrick could have a big impact. So, like, kind of like how Alvin Kamara did his rookie year. Didn't like start going off until like the second half when they got rid of who was it? AP at that time. Yeah, I think they traded away AP when he signed with the Saints, and then Alvin Kamara just
yeah,
went on a tear the second half of his rookie year.
yeah. His AP went to
Cardinal. He got
the.
traded to the Cardinals, I believe.
God, when did he end up with the Commanders?
I think it was the
Was
next
that after?
offseason because I think he only signed like a 1 year
Okay.
deal or something. But yeah, Alvin, I'm Kendrick Miller is a very similar type of player to Kamara, elusive as hell, and no one breaks tackles quite like Kamara, but Kendrick Miller is probably up there in terms of being able to break tackles with ease. Because I don't know how the hell he does it, but Alvin Kamara might be one of the hardest people to take down. Just
Yeah.
watching him play, that man will do like the simplest move, and people are like on their asses.
Quick side note: did you let Jerry Tillery play defensive line for Notre Dame?
Jerry Tillery,
Yeah.
hmm.
And then
Not a good
obviously they
player,
have
but
I forgot about these guys, but the Okora brothers from Detroit,
hmm, I did.
Julian and Romeo Okora.
Yeah, oh,
Forgot about those guys.
nice.
But yeah. Side note, back on track.
Yeah, so if Alvin Kamara like starts the season off slow, I imagine Kendrick is just gonna fill his role, and things will. Kamara might be is probably on the back end of his Saints tenure, or closing in on the end of his Saints tenure.
And if he doesn't, I mean, I'm not going to judge anybody, but if you don't keep your nose clean off the field, you're probably on the back end of your career regardless.
Yeah. Fourth round, they ended up taking a tackle, Nick Saldiveri. They just need more
Never
tackle
heard of him.
depth. Neither have I, but I mean, I imagine he's gonna be vying for starting spots, considering outside of Ryan Ramczyk, I don't know who, because they lost Teron Armstead. I don't know who filled it last year, but can't have been great.
From Old Dominion, there's always a couple of Old Dominion guys in the league that are
Yeah,
phenomenal. So, well, I guess we'll see.
yeah. With their other fourth round pick, they ended up taking QB Jake Hayner from Fresno State.
Yeah, I
Backup.
don't know about that guy.
I mean, he's gonna
He's
be
a
obviously
backup.
sitting behind Carr, but I don't know. We'll see. And more depth guys:
Now,
Jordan Howden from Minnesota and At Perry from Wake Forest, receiver.
I know I'm from Minnesota. Watch very minimal Minnesota football.
I imagine they're
It's hard
probably
to
just gonna be
watch them.
special teamers, but
You
yeah,
should try watching a Gopher game. It is tough.
I imagine. Imagine it's hard being a fan of a bad college football team.
Well, I'm not.
Well, I sort of am, mainly because UNLV is kind of just there, and I just like, why not? You know,
I'm a fan of them just because they got the slot machine.
that is that is pretty baller though.
Hell yeah, it is.
Other teams have like their turnover chain or like uh one of them. Well, I forgot what. There's like isn't there like a turnover like I'm running I'm there's nothing coming to mind in terms of like special turnover celebrations for teams. But the slot
There's
machine's
some pretty
iconic.
cool outside of football though. There's some pretty cool ones coming around, like the Mariners. They got the turnover trident or the home run trident.
I know the Padres have the home run sombrero.
Yeah, the Twins just started like a fisherman's gear jacket thing. I'm not sure what that's
Mm.
called, but
Yeah. Anyway, that's our recap of the NFC South. We'll be back with the last last episode of the NFC draft recap with the NFC East, where we get to talk more shit about the Cowboys. Until then, we will see you
oh,
next
gross.
time.
Peace.